afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Profound Ideas YouTube channel. Just want to welcome all the great minds and deep thinkers out there. Today we're doing a lesson on self-accountability. In this lesson, we're going to talk about what self-accountability is, ways that you can develop self-accountability, and just the negatives of not developing it. So, first and foremost, I'll start with a quote. The quote is by Gandhi, and it says that it is wrong and immoral to seek to escape the consequences of one's acts. This quote itself is almost a verbatim definition of the word self-accountability. This quote is telling you that you got to look within yourself and figure out where you went wrong whenever you're in a situation where things may not go exactly how you would like them to go. Most of the time, people really don't look at themselves and try to figure out what it is that they did wrong in the situation. They more likely tend to blame other people just because it's easier. It helps people with just still feeling good about themselves. A lot of people have bigger egos than they used to nowadays, especially with social media and things. So people really don't like to be told when they're wrong, and they will double down on any kind of idea that they can hold on to make them feel better about themselves. So if they can point the finger at somebody, then they will do so. So that's just the quote there. Now I'm going to get into a little bit of the actual definition of self-accountability. Actual definition is the idea that you're responsible for your actions and choices. Same thing as the quote. It's just about not blaming other people for when things go wrong in your life. You got to really look deep within yourself, have an introspective look, and figure out what it is that maybe you can change about yourself to better your situation. Also, with self-accountability, it means that you stay away from viewing yourself as a victim of your circumstances. There's a lot of people out there who they've had a rough childhood, or there's things that have happened that they're not really in control of. Let's say something that your parents have done that have led you to a certain situation, whether it's kicking you out, or people grow up without a father in the house, or without a mother even. There's a lot of different circumstances that people can be put into, and it's just about not letting those situations define you. It's about figuring out what you can do with the cards that you've been dealt. There's a saying that if you play bad cards bad, you can't be mad at whoever dealt them. And that's honestly the truth, because in the end, it's all under your control as far as, your circumstances go. I mean, obviously there's things that, you can't really control. You get diagnosed with cancer, or I don't know, like a hurricane hits if you live in somewhere in the south towards the ocean. These are things that you may not necessarily be able to control, but it's not going to help you to think and brood and just always worry about, what somebody else did to put you into that position. You have to seriously worry about what you did to be in that position and what you can do to ensure that this doesn't happen again, or that it has a less likely chance of happening. So how can you develop self-accountability? Well, there's a few things. So one being set a schedule and routine. Schedules and routines are vital if you want to have any sort of success. These things can be very simple. You could start out with just a couple things a day that you schedule into your day. If you feel like you're a little bit of a lazier person and you don't want to just automatically jump into a whole schedule where every hour of your day is, set, you can go ahead and just start with just a couple things. Just for an hour a day, I'm going to read, or for an hour a day, I'm going to work on this lessons for school. Whatever it is, you just want to devote a little bit of time. Just devote as much as you think you can. You don't want to overwhelm yourself, because that's how a lot of people try to start a new routine, and they fail because they try to do too much at once, and their body is almost like a shock. You're not used to it. It's just like a shell shock. You can't really get into the motion of things when you haven't even really started. People try to just jump right off the deep end, and it tends to fail. So you want to really start slow in increments and try to slowly get yourself to the point where you want to be. Now, apart from developing a schedule, one other thing you want to do is that you want to take full responsibility for every negative and positive situation in your life. When you do well, you want to pat yourself on the back and give yourself credit where credit is due. And even when you do bad, you also want to look at yourself and figure out where you went wrong. You don't want to be somebody who is looking at somebody else for blame, so that you can give yourself some self-reassurance that you're this great, smart, intelligent being that's so much better than everybody else, and you can possibly make a mistake. This kind of thinking is really toxic, and honestly does not help anybody. So if you feel like you're in that little bit of a toxic mindset, you definitely want to try to fix that and to get out of that. And the only way to do that is to not look at yourself as a victim, and try to look at yourself as somebody who can conquer anything that's put in front of them. Now, I went ahead and talked about how you can develop self-accountability. Now I'm going to talk about why it would be bad if you did not try to hone this trait. So there's a laundry list of negatives that can come from not developing self-accountability. A few of the main ones is that it's going to cause you to dig yourself deeper and deeper into whatever hole you're in. So if you feel like, you just got fired from your job, you're not really that well off financially, to complain and to think about all the negative things that have happened in your life that have led you to this point, and to point the fingers and to say that it's because of that and this, all that's going to do is just leave you in the same spot, if not worse. So you really want to make sure that you're not digging yourself into a deeper hole by not accepting what you've done wrong. You really want to focus on the things that you can change and what you have control over. Now, another thing about it being bad not to develop is, just imagine if everybody in society didn't want to develop their responsibility. What would society be like if everybody just blamed all the other people in society for their problems? It would just be a madhouse. It would be complete pandemonium. There wouldn't be any structure at all, because nobody would want to put forth any work. Because why would you want to work when you're constantly at a loss? People will feel like no matter what I do, I won't be able to get where I want to be. And so that's only going to cause a rift in society. It's going to cause a lot of resentment and just spite that people are going to have. And overall, it's just not good for anybody. So apart from that, just want to say that if you do not develop self-accountability, you will not live a happy, successful, fruitful life. And you must develop it in order to be a good person. If you want to be a good husband, brother, sister, father, mother, whatever it is, this is a vital trait that you have to nail down and to really, really hone. Because if you do not, then you're only going to drag those down around you more. So you really want to focus on yourself, and you want to focus on the things that you have control over, and just try to better yourself as much as you can every day. That's the first lesson for the Profound Ideas channel. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next video.